So this session is what women really want, and a little bit about myself. I am a relationship counselor, clinical sexologist, been in practice for 13 years. So I work with a lot of individuals, couples, and so today's session, what women really want, came about because I really wanted to make it something very practical and useful for all of us in our personal relationships. And this is what I'm going to be covering very quickly. So a little bit what women want, and talk a little bit about sexual polarity. I think that was actually mentioned just now during the coffee talk, and some tips around having better relationships and also a better sex life. So what do women want? I will go on to the next slide. I actually flashed it for like 0.1 second. So yeah, so somebody says just better sex, yeah, more open conversations. But what do women really want? We talk about modern day women. Few answers. Number 3, don't look at my answers, look at your own, come up with your own answers, please. Everybody wants better relationship. Okay, so based on this study in Asia Pacific of leaders, okay, women business leaders, okay, so this was very recent. It actually shows that women are still not in the upper management, and we are not even half, even though we are more than we are half or more than half, we are not in key positions. I think a big part of it is because we have many other things going on in our lives. And I don't know about you, I don't want to speak for you, but for me, I feel that our career as women is not the most important thing. I think because of that, we tend to be a little bit more personable, we tend to be a bit detached, and sometimes when you're detached, you actually end up with better results. So having said that, now I want to talk about what I found about what women really want. This is based on Women Web, and I think we all want the same things, whether it's men or women. However, these are some common ones, including we just want to have respect for what we are doing, for what we are offering and sharing with the family. We want respect, some decency. We want to have trust. We want to have a space of our own, meaning when we want to be by ourselves, we can. Time by ourselves, love, the ability to make decisions. So this is very much linked to money and finances. And when it comes to sex, some of you say sex and equal opportunities. So as we know, equal pay and equal opportunities is still not available for women, even in this day and age. But these are some of the things that women want. Yeah, so somebody said, I'd rather wear many hats because we have many roles and we are very capable. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about sexual polarity because this was actually mentioned just now by the speakers, but I think it was not very clear. So this is a picture of the moon and the sun. So I think a lot of us, even though many of us here are Chinese, I think we lost sight of what it actually really means in terms of our heritage. The moon actually symbolizes the yin energy. So why yin? It's actually a very damp, shi, and then the sun is shiny and radiating. So this is the yang energy. So yin and yang. So the yin actually has the energy to pull you to look at, for instance, the beautiful moon. And then the yang energy is like, look at me, look at me, look at me. The yang energy, as we know, is life-giving. The yang energy feeds all the plants and animals. All of us need the sun to survive in order for the vegetables to grow and things like that. So when I point out sexual polarity, I want to be very clear. I'm not talking about men and women. I'm talking about the energy that is inside all of us. So all of us have yin and yang energy. So what happens is when we are in Korea and we're in a patriarchal society where we have to work hard, we have to perform, we have to be smart, we have to be on the ball, we have to use our brain. What happens is we're pushing and pushing and pushing. Yes, we are like the sun, we are trying to shine. So what happens is a lot of times it doesn't feel good because let's say you're a mother and you're pregnant, you need to actually sometimes take a back seat. So I literally today, and I have many clients who are fighting with themselves, like they hate their bodies, they hate being pregnant, they hate not being able to do all the things that they used to do. Then they're feeling like weird sensations in their body and they are not used to it. So they're fighting with themselves. So I'm not saying that it's a good or bad. In fact, this is in all of us. But I actually see as there's a time and place to do different things at different times. So when I'm with my family, I don't need to be fighting. I don't really care who wins. When I'm in different situation, for instance, with my lover, with my partner, I wouldn't want to focus so much in like dominating my partner. So we can be masculine at work, we can be feminine at the workplace. Sorry, we can be masculine at the workplace, we can be feminine in our relationship with our partners and family, and then we can be masculine in the bedroom. So these are three different personalities that may emerge. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's about being more conscious about what is actually effective in different situations. Okay, and you guys can have this PowerPoint and look more into it. There's a lot into studying this. I'm not going to go into so much detail, but I just wanted to have this slide here for you all to look at. Okay, so really there's a lot of science into it. So when we think of masculine, we all think of good, and we think of feminine, we think of bit bad. So if we have a lot of feminine energy that actually resides in us, in a way, when we don't reconcile with our feminine, we are actually rejecting a part of us. So things like taking things easy, slowing down, go for spa day, pamper yourself, take care of your skin, wear sunscreen, for instance, it's very important. Like these little things shows how you take a little bit of effort to make yourself shine as the person living your best life. Okay, so I just wanted to do a short introduction because I hope this will illustrate what I'm going to cover. Okay, so now I want to talk about better relationships. So when it comes to better relationships, these are some fundamentals. I think most of you will agree. Okay, it's very important to have some boundaries so you feel safe. When I talk about boundaries, things like when we're having dinner, you don't check your phone. Things like our relationship means that we are not dating other people. Communication. A lot of people actually know about the importance of communication, but I actually happen to, through my work, know of a lot of couples who think they have good communication until they come and see me. And then as I start to uncover, I realize, yeah, they are communicating, but they are not communicating effectively. Then the next thing is, how do you develop trust with someone? First, you need to feel safe, and this trust needs to be proven. Right? You don't just trust somebody if they don't prove that they are worthy of trust. The next thing is consent. When you say yes and no, will they actually listen to you? Do you actually keep forcing yourself to say yes even though you don't feel like it? So that essentially is a betrayal to yourself. So I have people, they keep saying yes, 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 yes to different things, including sex, and then their body is shutting down. So when they come to me, when their body is shut down, the person who is hurt is not just the partner, the relationship, but actually themselves. They have betrayed themselves. So consent doesn't mean that you are okay last time, means you'll always be okay. Consent can be given, can be taken away at any point. And it's really important to understand that when we do a lot of things out of guilt, it's not going to actually serve us in the long run, out of guilt, out of shame. So these are some foundations of a healthy relationship that I was able to come up with. Maybe y'all can type what are some of the additional foundations of a healthy relationship that you can think of. I'll just pause for a moment because I know I can talk very, very fast. Wow, no response. Okay, moving on. Okay, think about it, okay? What is very critical to you when it comes to your relationship? Don't care about the whole world, just about your relationship. Are these the ones? Yeah, respect. Okay, good. Okay, thank you for those people who responded. I was like, is my mic still working? Okay, so another thing is for some people, it's like, whatever you do, don't mess with my parents, right? If your partner doesn't respect you, doesn't respect your parents, you know, is that a deal breaker for you? How about your career? How about telling you what to wear? So one of the things, yes, giving time to each other. So one of the things about communication is the hardest part of hearing that you hurt someone is knowing that you didn't mean it and scrambling to understand, to be understood yourself. So when we are trying to communicate, okay, sometimes we don't mean to hurt someone, right? But we're trying. So When it comes to sensitive topics, do you seek to understand or do you seek to be understood? Seek to be understood, because we do want to have our partner understand our intentions, our experience, our point of view, right? However, sometimes in relationship, as much as you are talking, they also have their own side of the story. So it's very important to also seek to understand. So I have some advice when it comes to conflict, unhealthy versus healthy. I think what happens is a lot of relationships, they do not have the opportunity to have healthy role models when it comes to relating. A lot of things that we do in our relationships are the result of what we unconsciously pick up from our parents, and then we start to do this. So it can include blaming, shaming, name calling, calling them stupid, lazy, things like that. So healthier responses can be about being stepping into growing ourselves and becoming calm, non-defensive, assertive. So we can speak our truth without needing to shout. We can speak our truth without needing to nag and scream. Okay, this actually causes the relationship to start to break down. So I'm not here to scold anybody or blame anybody. It's really about a matter of choosing better, right? So these are some healthy responses. So what can we do when it comes to conflict? So some people, they have a tendency to attack. Some people, they will just argue. They just don't want to admit that they are wrong. Some people will just start to do name calling and dismissing it, sweep it under the carpet like you're crazy. Some people will just very fast focus on fixing the problem. Don't talk about it, just fix, right? So sometimes fixing the problem so quickly but not understanding each other can also result in a gap, because you fix but you never really understand the why. So if you don't understand the why, if the situation happened in a different way, you still didn't understand why. Some people are very good in apologizing. Some people think it's good you apologize. But I think for some of you, you may know, when it's apologize and it's not followed by action, yeah, correct. Is that did they really learn about anything? Did they really understand what they did? Because if they don't really understand and they just apologize for the sake of apologizing, it's not going to work. So these are some unconscious patterns that we go into. So when it comes to fighting fair, so this is very, very important slide, because 这个是不是别人教的? This one is I learned it for myself over my 13 years of practice and also my personal relationships. So how to fight fair? So when you want to discuss a topic, one topic at one time. Okay, don't bring up grandfather, grandmother, 10 years ago, last month you did this. No, just keep to one topic at one time, because it is sensitive. And when we get overflow of emotions, that's then when we start to get into all our toxic behavior. So it's really important, one topic at one time, and both agree to focus on not just talking and understanding, so equal time to talk, but also when you talk, don't interrupt. And then when you talk, try to focus on what can you do about it. So schedule time to talk about it. Don't just spring it on your partner at 2 a.m. in the morning or 12 a.m. or somebody that I know of. Okay, when they're drunk, wake up their partner and want to trash things out. It's not going to work, right? And then when it gets too heated, time out, and say, you know, I'm getting very upset. I noticed that I'm raising my voice, or the partner can say, you are raising your voice. Let's schedule this for another time where we can talk about it. Let me think about it and let's talk about it. And when you postpone it, make sure you fulfill this promise of talking about it later. Don't just later, and then you just sweep this under the carpet. So then the partner is not going to have trust for you. Be very mindful about focusing on the facts, what is happening, and the feelings. It is when you start to talk and you start to go into talking about the feelings, how you feel about what happened, you are actually going somewhere. Remember, I talked about it is important to be understood. So what happens with some relationships is women talk fast, women CPU faster, and then men CPU slower. I know I'm generalizing, but what happens if the talker in the relationship cannot be talking all the time? Oh, I talk faster, so I talk more, you talk slower, so you talk less. It actually creates injustice. So what if the person who talks less needs more time to think through their feelings and their thoughts? So you say, okay, I talk for 30 minutes, I'm the one who talk a lot, I have been talking for 30 minutes, you have 30 minutes. The person may not want to use the 30 minutes, it doesn't matter, you sit down and wait. You sit down and wait so that your partner feels that they have the equal time, and it doesn't mean you talk more or you talk constantly for that 30 minutes. It can be you just look at each other, you hold each other's hands, and you let that 30 minutes pass. So it's really important to have that kind of equality. And trust me, if you give your partner the time to talk, over time, it actually gets easier for your partner to express. So no violence, no name calling, blaming, no eye rolling, all this passive aggressive behavior that we tend to go into. So the next one, I have tips for you when it comes to better sex. So I'm going to go very fast because I only have 5 more minutes. So these are the 5 tips that I have for you. If you can remember these, this will change your life. This will change your life. Okay, never mind. Those of you who are not sexual, never mind. Just remember, okay? The first one is some people, you know, they go directly for the genitals. Some people don't like it. It's like, hello, I not warm up yet. So then there's the other person who likes the whole body to be warm up first. So from the top to the bottom, yes, you kiss first, you hug, you stroke the hair, yes, and then you do the breast, then you go to the genitals. So you want to check, are you a non-linear person or are you a more direct person? So you and your partner need to communicate. Just because you like it to be all over the body first, then you go for the hot spot. Don't think that they need that, okay? So it's not tit for tat. It's not I 5 minutes and a 20 minute, you 20 minutes. They may not appreciate it. So understand where your partner is at. The next one is look at not just the approach, touch genitals or not touch genitals. The other one is the touch. Okay, so some people like the touch to be soft, slow, and sensual, ching ching de, like feather. Okay, but the other one may like the touch to be hard, fast, and sexual. Okay, very much focused on the penetration. Oh yes, the longer, the harder, the faster, better. So this may not be what you want. So the problem comes when you always do it the way your partner wants versus the way you want. So it's really important to take turns. Okay, today your turn, today my turn, today my way, next time I do it your way. You get what I'm trying to say? It's really important to notice the differences. It's like duck and chicken, and being able to appreciate. It's not my partner is wrong for doing this or feeling like this. It's not who is right or wrong. It's a matter of your different sexual styles. Then another one, some people are creature of habit. They like to do the same thing for 30 years, the same sex position, the same duration, and then the other person is very, very bored already. So what happens is it doesn't mean that it's wrong if your partner like the same thing in the same way. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But actually, as we get comfortable, as we are open to sex, then this is where we can actually introduce more new things. So when it comes to another sex tip that I have is you can be the best lover in the world if you're very good at mirroring your partner, mirror your partner. If they are doing a very passionate, then you're also very passionate. If they like to do tongue, you also do tongue. If they like to touch you hard, you also touch them hard. If they like it to be hard pressure, you also hard pressure back to them. Okay, because a lot of times what they are doing to you is what they themselves like. Unconsciously, they are doing this to you because they like it. They like it. So we don't know this. We are like, why are you doing this to me? I don't like it. I told you I don't like it. I told you many, many times I don't like it. Why do you keep doing it? Because they don't know what else to do. You get what I'm trying to say? So that is the reason why I shared all these tips just now. Yeah, very important. So mirroring is very, very effective because you know what? Suddenly they feel, wow, you really get me, You get me, you get me. Wow, we really are synchronized. Actually, all I did was I just mirror them. So I have been told many times I'm very good in sex, but actually all I did was mirror them. Understand or not? So this is a pro tip. You're welcome. Okay, so mirror the pressure, the rhythm, hard or fast or slow, and the location. So like for instance, they always like to nibble your ear. They're like, what the hell? You always nibble my ear. You think I like it? But try to nibble their ear. Yes, when you nibble their ear and see what effect, then they will be like, oh, yeah, actually they were trying to hint to you that they want you to nibble their ear. 讲不出来, but then they're actually doing it to you. Okay, so if you are still very, very confused, I know some people are very confused. They need some other masterclass. Okay, you can go and watch these 2 videos which I created talking about this same points that I just covered. So this particular video called 5 Things Women Love in Bed. I actually did this both videos for She the People TV, and this particular video actually has already hit 1.3 million views. Yeah, so a lot of attack what racist feminists what. But I'm just telling you, I'm making these generalizations based on my own experience, first of all as a woman, and also having worked with clients for 13 years. So I see this definitive, this very definite difference between male and females and the kind of sex that they think that they would like. Okay, so I think it's worthwhile to go and watch these videos. They're very funny. Okay, I get like they are funny. At least somebody is getting entertained. Okay, so so because I like y'all so much, right? So I also want to share this. So 这个是我发明的. Okay, this is something that I've actually experienced myself, and I think this will also increase your improve your sex life significantly. So what happens with me and my partner? This is where actually this came up. Yeah, you all can have all the you can have this PowerPoint, don't worry. Okay, so what happened is that um when I was new to sex, okay, before sex, my partner did this. And during sex, my partner did this. And after sex, my partner did this. So you know what? Because my first partner did this, and then I was like, hey, how come nobody talk about sex before sex? Am I the only weirdo? And then I realized, oh shit, like all my clients don't know how to talk about sex before sex. So now I'm teaching you my framework, okay, my framework, so that you can take charge of your sex life. So the first, you may or may not want to do this, it's up to you, but it's worth doing it. So the first thing my partner and I would do, okay, this was when I was spring chicken, very young, 20 years ago. I know I still look 20, never mind. Okay, so what happens 20 years ago when I was with my first sex partner, every single time we want to be intimate, he would do a check-in. How are you physically? How are you? Are you tired? Are you sleepy? Are you having a period? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? We will talk about it. And he will reassure me. So physically, we'll do a check-in. Physically, mentally, are you okay? Are you tired? You know, like how is work? Mentally, emotionally. So remember, I love you. Okay, now we are going to have a session. Okay, I think we have about 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever it is. So remember the last, yes, hungry people, yeah, need to address all those needs, right? Like super urgent. You don't have sex with someone super urgent, right? And then slap you, right? No, you check in first. Make sure you're okay, on the same page. Okay, today 30 minutes. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to try this new toy or whatever it is. Try this new sex position, whatever it is. And then, so remember last time you bite my dick. Remember this time, don't do that. Okay, your fears, the worst nightmare. Talk about it. And then way forward, meaning like after this, what to look forward to. Okay, because when you go into sex, right, sometimes you're trying something new. Maybe you feel scared, maybe you feel vulnerable. So it's important to actually give each other a reward. Yeah, after this, I have to go and finish my project, my work, my report, whatever. Okay, talk about this. At least get this out of the way. So your partner know how much time you have. Both of you are on the same page. No misunderstanding. Don't some psychic connection. You don't know what they want. They don't know what you want. You want to come. You don't want to come. You want to come on my face. You want to come where? Don't know. Everything don't know. Never talk about it. So being able to be intentional actually creates safety, especially when you're trying something new. So during sex, be very mindful. Are you and your partner more of an open-ended question versus a closed-ended question kind of person? Open-ended question people, right? Open-ended question people, how was it? How was it? What you say, how was it? What you want what? Physically, mentally, emotionally, or what? Closed-ended question. Are you okay? Are you hot? Is the pressure okay? So asking yes, no question might be easier for some people who feel that talking about sex during sex spoils the romance of sex or the magic of sex. So whatever it is, if you really are a communicator, you really need to know, die need to know. Don't do your 10 question survey during sex. Ask a close-ended question on a need-to basis. So after sex, you can ask, how was it? What was good? What will make it better? What should we do next time? Why? Because it cannot be all bad, right? It cannot be all bad. It was sucks. It was terrible. Must please talk something good. Say something good. Like, oh, you were very patient. Oh, you were very gentle. Wow, today your dick very big today. Something like that. Okay. And what will make it better? Oh yeah, if your dick even bigger, even better. Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay. Never ever joke about his dick. Okay, but what will make it better? Like, oh, maybe, you know, if it was like a bit slower. And don't say 20 things to make it better, okay? Then they will feel like a loser. They don't want to have sex with you anymore, right? So you just say 1 or 2 things that will make it better. Okay, then 吊胃口, with the appetite, what should we do next time? So is there anything you would like to try next time? So what you do after all this, don't throw away all this information. During the next session, you can say, hey, remember the last time we talked about this? So how about we bring that into the bedroom this time? Okay, so this is some way you can actually push the envelope so that you can encourage your partner to be a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more open, so that you do not misunderstand each other. So having said that, now I'll talk about how to initiate sex, because a lot of people, they don't know how to initiate sex. They feel very shy. So there are people I know of, they hint, but then the partner say, they come for counseling, and then the partner, huh? You mean you were trying to tell me this? Huh? You've been doing that a lot, you know? I didn't know you were trying to say that you want sex. Wow, this is macam miscommunication, and not only that, like waste time, waste energy. So one of the things you can do is you can schedule it, you can text them, you can send them a Zoom, not Zoom invite, you can send them an event invite, okay, or an Outlook. You know, nowadays, every time we schedule it, yes, you can schedule it. You know why? Block the time so that mentally, physically more prepared for sex. You know, some people are very tired, right? Tired very easily. Then you every time tired, then when are we going to have sex? So what you can do is you can schedule it so that they know, okay, fine, I need to have a 1 hour nap before sex. So scheduling it actually makes it more likely to happen. And also you don't have to bring it up, no need to hint. The next one is you can warm that up slowly with a touch massage, or you can offer to do morning sex. Actually, they really love morning sex. I know a lot of women don't like morning sex because they need to rush to put on the makeup, or the kids or whatever. But actually, a lot of people really love morning sex. You can use your phone to text or tease them, act as a foreplay. You can gamify it. You can say, give them some clues around the bedroom. You can do a treasure hunt. Yes, you can gamify it. And then if they get it correct, you report them with a kiss. If they get it wrong, you can spank them or something like that. You can gamify it. You can use code words in front of the kids. So I have this example. This is just an example. I'm not saying you all go and rush out and buy these Viva Hotter sex socks. So these socks one says tease me and one says please me at the bottom. So when you wear the socks, right, instead of saying socks, right, you can actually hint something like, hey, do you have your socks? Do you have clean socks? So in front of the kids, they can say, where are your socks? Or something like, hey, you can take out your socks, put out for tomorrow, or something like that. So your kids don't know what you are talking about. Always talking about socks, but actually you're talking about sex. So socks can be the key code word for sex. So I actually have this rule, because we tend to be, as women, we tend to be partnered with a partner with a higher sex drive. So I actually have a 24-hour rule. If your partner initiates sex, or I don't know about your partner, but my partner, okay, this is farming that I invented this. So Mata, has a 24-hour rule where if my partner wants to have sex and I don't feel like it, I give myself 24 hours, okay, even if I don't want to do it now, I give myself 24 hours to do something sexual or initiate something sexual. So like, for example, I say, I really, I'm having my period, I don't feel like it. I'm having menstrual cramps, I don't feel like it. Is it okay? We wait until tomorrow and see whether I feel different. So in the next 24 hours, whether it's morning or in the evening, I will definitely not do, I will definitely offer. I'll definitely offer so that my partner know when he offer, I will always acknowledge it, I take it to heart, and I will always address it in some form or another. When I offer in 24 hours later, he may like, I know I don't feel like it now, but at least I offer. As long as I offer, I don't need to feel guilty. He asked, I feel guilty, then this game just never ends. So at least I made an effort to show that I care about you, and that's why I'm paying attention to the fact that you offered, and now I'm addressing it 24 hours later. But I don't tell him. Otherwise, every time he will expect, because this is like my present to him, so I don't tell him. That's why I call it secret. Another thing that you can do to make sex a little bit more interesting for you is every time when you have sex, you can have a secret intent. Meaning like, today I want to try this thing, and then you just try to incorporate it into the bedroom. So if you feel bored about sex, you can actually try to do new things so that you yourself don't get bored. So you have a secret intent that doesn't hurt him in any way. That's how I started to grow myself. Like, for instance, I always wanted to try blindfold. So I asked him, like, do you want to try blindfold? And he says no. Then I say, why? I try the blindfold on me, or like fine, how about we just look at the blindfold, or we play with the blindfold? So okay, fine, then I accomplished my goal of talking about or playing with blindfold today. You get what I mean? So it doesn't have to be must use, but actually at least I start to introduce the idea of it. So that may be my secret intent for the session. So by doing this, I'm taking responsibility for my own sexuality, for doing something about it, rather than just be very passive and angry and like, oh, he no initiative, he's not creative, when actually it's also onto me to take initiative for all this. Okay, so I have to end. I already exceeded the time. So yeah, if you are interested in my work, you can check out my books. Okay, you can actually check out my website, and these are the resources. You can read it.